A hiatus is an understatement from how long ago I've posted on here. Hi, welcome back to my channel. A hiatus is an understatement from how long ago I've posted on here. Life happened, and now I'm posting again. You know that sound that's like, and then I remembered, this is my social media. This is my account. Yeah.
You know what? It's my social media. And that's it. That's how I started posting.
That has been ringing in my head. This is my account. I love Studio Ghibli. There are animation films, and then there's Studio Ghibli. My love and admiration for that film studio runs so deep, and today I'm going to deep dive into the reasons why I love Studio Ghibli. For starters, Studio Ghibli has the art of writing such complex and multifaceted characters. For example, Lady Eboshi in Princess Mononoke is considered the main antagonist, mainly because she wants to kill all of the animals in the forest, even to the extent of killing the forest spirit, which is basically like the heart of the forest and the thing that gives all of the forest its life. But when you deep dive and continue watching the film, her leadership skills and her love for her town, Iron Town, I think that's something that's very admirable. She basically compiles a town of people that would be considered less than, from the women that make the iron for her weapons and guns. Those women were women that were in brothel homes, and she said, you know what, no, you're not going to be a brothel woman anymore. Let me show you a different way of life in making weapons. But also the people that are making the guns themselves are people with leprosy. Like, I don't know if you've seen pictures of what leprosy looks like. I'm not going to put it on this video because it's a little bit scary for me to look at. Honestly, it's scary for me to look at, but it's like an engulfing disease, and to be able to take people lesser than that, have leprosy, these are the people that you would look sideways at, just glance and continue on with your life. Say, no, let me give you another purpose in life in making guns. Not the best purpose, but a purpose nonetheless. And that's just one of many examples that Hayao Miyazaki makes from his films. I could go and think of others like Yubaba from Spirited Away, or even Haku, or Howl, or even, Porco Rosso. He himself is also very complex, but there's so many characters that he gives not just a one-sided script or a one-sided point of view, that they can be considered antagonist or protagonist. Now, going deeper into that topic, I love how Studio Ghibli writes their women and their girls. They are bold and energetic, and they're passionate. They're so passionate. But one thing that I really love is that they're never sexualized by the default of their characters. There are instances in his films where the women are sexualized, but it's not because of the nature of themselves, it's because of the men around them. And I think that's such a realistic reflection of how women are viewed in any society, from Western to Eastern. 9 times out of 10, women are sexualized regardless of what they're wearing, regardless of how they dress. You could be fully clothed and a man will still sexualize you. And even that phrase, leave it to the imagination, that insinuates that you're going to be sexualized even if you're fully covered. Yes, I love how Studio Ghibli writes their women. Yes. Now that I'm off of that tangent, back to what I was talking about. For example, Sophie in Howl's Moving Castle, how I said you could be fully clothed, still be sexualized. She was walking down a street to go to a hat shop, or to see her sister actually, and she was quite literally about to be raped, had not Howl came and swooped her away, literally. And then there's also the instance of Teru in Tales in Earthsea. That film is probably the film that I watch the least, if I'm being honest. She can stand alone. She stands alone by herself as such a strong, passionate character, and I love how it's written. Hayao Miyazaki said that many of my films have strong female leads, brave, self-sufficient girls that don't think twice about fighting for what they believe in with all their heart. They'll need a friend or a supporter, but never a savior. Any woman is just as capable of being a hero as a man. And I love it. I love it. Another reason as to why I love those films. That quote in itself, it makes me think that film directors that don't write women in the best way are just lazy.
You know, no tea, no shade. Actually, all tea, all shade. Yeah.
Because all of Studio Ghibli's films are animated. Like, these women are not 3D, they're not in live action, yet they have more respect from the creator of the films than live action films, which irritates me. And to go even deeper on how the characters are written, I love that when there is a woman protagonist and a male protagonist, that it's not always a romantic relationship in the film. Hayao Miyazaki said himself, "I've become skeptical of the unwritten rule that because a boy and a girl appear in the same feature, a romance must ensue. Rather, I want to portray a slightly different relationship, one where the two mutually inspire each other to live. If I'm able to, then perhaps I'm closer to portraying a truer expression of love, or true expression of love." That take is such a breath of fresh air. And speaking of breath of fresh air, funny enough, the word Ghibli means hot air that blows from the east or the west, and they chose that word because Hayao Miyazaki wanted to give Japan a new breath of fresh air, and that's exactly what he did for the time that he wrote these films. The first film that was made under the name of Studio Ghibli, I believe it was Laputa, Castle in the Sky, but the first long feature film that he made was Nausicaa, Valley of the Wind, and that is one of my favorites from his collection of films, simply because the girl is written in such a way that she doesn't have a romantic partner to say at the end. She makes a friend for sure that is a man, but I wouldn't say that it's romantic, just how you would care for like a friend. And I think that was very, very cute, very nice. Love Nausicaa. My next reasoning for loving Studio Ghibli films is I love the detail when it comes to the nature scenes and the nature shots. I learned that Hayao Miyazaki would encourage his team to travel to different areas and different places and make sketches of the scenes that they see, the nature scenes that they see, so that they're able to implement that in their films. And I admire the dedication to detail, and because everything was hand drawn, it takes so much more time and more dedication to make those. And I'm thinking of shots from like Princess Mononoke, shots from Spirited Away, shots from Secret World of Arrietty, where the nature is up close and in detail, and it's so crisp, and it makes me love nature even more. And that was honestly the reason why I wanted to film outside instead of filming inside, simply because he had such a love for nature that I'm like, you know what, let's do a different change of scenery for this video. My last reasoning is I am in love with the music for Studio Ghibli films. The main composer, Joe Hisai. Hold on, let me figure out how to say his name correctly. Okay, searched up how to say his name correctly. Joe Hisaishi. Joe Hisaishi. He is one of the main composers for Studio Ghibli films. He's done over 100 music credits when it comes to Studio Ghibli films, and he's done work as early as Nausicaa and the Valley of the Wind to the most recent one, The Boy and the Heron. And he's done like everything in between, from like Princess Mononoke, Spirited Away, House of the Castle, Porco Rosso, The Wind Rises, so on and so forth. Kiki's Delivery Service, I also remember that one. Feels so timeless, and it's very low stimulating, and it's very peaceful, and it just transports me into like a different time. And honestly, like, that's the type of music that I will play when I am studying or when I'm reading and I don't want it to be like pure silence. I'll put Studio Ghibli music on, and I have like a whole playlist to listen to that. I love the music. It's so beautiful. Okay, so I had to change my spot because the sun is setting and I didn't want my face to be in the dark. So now back to what I was saying. Thank you for listening to my yap session of why I love Studio Ghibli films. And if you are watching to this point, tell me your favorite Studio Ghibli film in the comments. Or if you haven't seen any Studio Ghibli film, tell me a film that you know that is from him that you're curious to watch, or a reason why you love Studio Ghibli films as well. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.